Good evening. The Florida Department of Transportation, Florida Turnpike Enterprise welcomes you to the Alternatives Public Information Meeting for the Project Development and Environment or PD&E Study to widen Western Beltway from north of Interstate 4 to Seidel Road in Osceola and Orange counties. This is the agenda for tonight's meeting. The meeting will begin with introductions of the study team members participating in today's virtual meeting. We will then show a project informational video that runs for approximately 24 minutes. After the video, we'll have a question and answer session, then close this virtual meeting. My name is Stephanie Underwood. I am the Turnpike Project Manager for this project. Matt Betancourt, representing the consultant team, will assist me with the question and answer session. Tonight, I'd like to recognize elected and appointed officials who registered to attend this virtual public meeting. We have Major Wiley Black representing the Osceola County Sheriff's Office. We also have Juan Lopez. He's here on behalf of Congressman Darren Soto of District 9. We're joined tonight by Tom Harrell. He's the Vice Chair for the Osceola County Planning Commission, District 1. Jessie Mack Burns is also here. She's a City Council member for the City of Bay Lake. Welcome to all of our participants tonight's meeting. Before we play the project video, if you do not hear the audio during the virtual meeting, please check your computer speaker settings using the control panel. If you experience technical difficulties during the virtual meeting, please contact technical support at the address shown on the screen. In the event of technical difficulties during the virtual meeting, please stay online while we work to resolve the issue. Next, I would like to show our project video, which will introduce you to our project. After the video, we will answer your questions.
The Florida Department of Transportation, Florida's Turnpike Enterprise, welcomes you to the Alternatives Public Information Meeting for the Project Development and Environment, or PD&E Study, to widen Western Beltway from north of Interstate 4 to Seidel Road in Osceola and Orange counties. This project is being developed in accordance with the Civil Rights Act of 1964. Under Title VI of the Civil Rights Act, public participation is solicited without regard to race, color, national origin, age, sex, religion, disability, or family status. Please contact one of the Title VI coordinators shown here to express any concerns regarding Florida Turnpike's compliance with Title VI. The purpose of this meeting is to provide you with an overview of the study, including information on the PD&E process, project needs, alternatives considered, the public involvement process, and the study schedule. This meeting also provides the opportunity for you to ask questions and give input on the study. The agenda item is shown in the upper right-hand corner of each slide. A PD&E study determines if there is an engineering and environmentally feasible alternative to meet the future needs determined in the planning phase. It involves the preparation of preliminary engineering and environmental documentation. Key components of the PD&E process include an evaluation of existing conditions, identification of future traffic needs, development of alternatives, and an evaluation of the alternatives based on environmental and engineering factors. An important component of the PD&E process is public and agency involvement. All findings and recommendations are documented at the end of the study. If a build alternative is selected, then the process moves forward into the design phase. If additional land is required for the project, right-of-way is acquired after the design phase, followed by the project's construction phase. The study limits extend from north of Interstate 4, milepost 1, to Seidel Road, milepost 11. The project is located within Osceola and Orange counties. The study scope includes evaluation of alternatives for the widening of Western Beltway from 4 lanes to 8 lanes, and evaluation of improvements to existing interchanges at Sinclair Road, US 192, Western Way, and Seidel Road. The study scope also includes evaluation of a potential new interchange, which is proposed at Livingston Road. Project needs arise from issues and concerns that may frequently slow down traffic, cause delays, or lead to accidents. The need to widen the Western Beltway is based on enhancing safety, accommodating travel demand through the year 2050, improving travel times and reliability, and enhancing economic viability, emergency responsiveness, and evacuation times. Improvements to Western Beltway are needed to enhance safety. Between 2014 and 2018, there were 161 crashes within the study limits between the I-4 ramps and Seidel Road interchanges. The estimated economic crash cost is about $33 million over the 5 years. Congestion is a major contributing factor to crashes. If nothing is done, congestion will continue to rise, leading to an increase in crashes. The average historical growth rate on State Road 429 between opening and closing years is 10%. This can be attributed to the high increase in population and employment opportunities in the area, as well as recreational activities. During the evening commute, traffic backs up on State Road 429 in the southbound direction towards I-4, and long queues have been observed at the State Road 429 southbound off-ramp to US 192. In order to accommodate future travel demand, 6 lanes are needed by 2030 and 8 lanes will be needed by 2045 for the segment between US 192 and Seidel Road, and between I-4 and US 192 by 2050. The improvements considered as part of this study include both improvements to the main line and to the interchanges within the project limits, and also a planned connection to the Poinciana Parkway extension planned to the south as part of a separate study. In addition to widening the main line, proposed interchange improvements from south to north within the project limits include operational improvements at Sinclair Road, a new interchange at Livingston Road, operational improvements at US 192 and Western Way, and 2 options for interchange improvements at Seidel Road. The no-build alternative will remain viable throughout the study. We will cover all of these proposed improvements in additional detail. Western Beltway will be widened from 4 lanes to 8 lanes throughout the project limits. This graphic shows the existing 4-lane typical section with a 64-foot median. The proposed mainline improvement widens the roadway to both sides. The proposed ultimate 8-lane typical section after widening to both sides includes 4 travel lanes in each direction. Now, we will cover the interchange improvements from south to north, starting with the existing Sinclair Road interchange 1 mile north of I-4. This presentation shows aerial views of the conceptual design of the proposed improvements with north oriented to the right as shown. The legend shows the difference between any existing and proposed signals shown on the aerial view. This graphic shows where the project begins and the first interchange at Sinclair Road. The Poinciana Parkway Extension PD&E Study includes improvements to the I-4 interchange and the Sinclair Road interchange. If Poinciana is constructed, Western Beltway widening would interface with that project north of Sand Hill Road. However, if the Poinciana Parkway Extension project is not constructed, the Western Beltway widening would start further south at the I-4 ramps. The existing Sinclair Road Diamond interchange and the existing signal at the northbound off-ramp would remain. Traffic signals would be added for the northbound off-ramp and the southbound on-ramp, as well as turn lanes at all the ramps. These improvements would allow the interchange to operate at a higher level of service in the future as traffic increases. There are 2 options for the Connector Road intersection with a northbound on-ramp. We will take a closer look at these options. The first option is the signalization option, which adds a signal at the ramp terminal's intersection with Connector Road, as well as a turn lane in each direction. The second option would be the addition of a roundabout at the same intersection instead of a traffic signal to control all turning and through movements. The roundabout option shown offers the same movements as the signalization option. Moving to the intersection of the ramp terminals and Connector Road at Sinclair Road, the existing signal would remain, but turn lanes would be added at 3 of the 4 intersection approaches. Moving west of State Road 429, a new signal would be added at the ramp terminal intersection with Sinclair Road, as well as a right turn lane on Sinclair Road and a left turn lane at the southbound ramp terminal. The table shown is an evaluation matrix that compares the Sinclair Road interchange alternatives. Both Sinclair Road options have traffic and safety benefits that offer significant improvement over the no-build option. The roundabout option offers the most benefits at a higher cost as compared to the signalization option. The next interchange would be a new interchange located 2¼ miles north at an extension of Livingston Road. This new interchange will relieve US 192 and provide additional mobility in the study area. The new Livingston Road interchange would offer full access between State Road 429 from an extension of Livingston Road as shown. The new interchange would provide for all movements with loops to the south side as shown here. The ramps to and from the south would be tolled with the exact location to be determined. This improvement would include widening Formosa Gardens Road for about 1/2 mile to eliminate the short section of 2-lane roadway and match the existing 4-lane condition south and north of Livingston Road. The blue highlighted areas show the location of potential right-of-way impacts where additional land would be required to accommodate the improvements. We will take a closer look at the beginning of the proposed Livingston Road extension first. The extension of Livingston Road past Formosa Gardens Boulevard includes improvements to the intersection. These improvements include a new signal as well as additional turn and through lanes at every intersection approach. The new T intersection at the extension of Livingston Road and the State Road 429 ramp terminals would be signalized and include new movements at all approaches to grant access to State Road 429 northbound and southbound. Modifications to the existing interchange at US 192 are also under consideration. Modifications to the existing US 192 interchange include minor interchange improvements at the off-ramps, the addition of one eastbound lane on US 192 from west of the southbound ramp, and one westbound lane from East Orange Lake Boulevard to west of the southbound ramp terminal intersection. These improvements are generally within the existing right-of-way, but may require small amounts of right-of-way to be acquired. We will take a closer look at the intersection improvements associated with the interchange, starting at East Orange Lake Boulevard. On East Orange Lake Boulevard, a new left turn lane would be added at US 192 at the existing signalized intersection, and a new through lane begins on US 192. Moving along US 192, closer to State Road 429, an additional through lane would be added onto US 192 westbound. In addition, turn lanes would be added on US 192 and at the State Road 429 ramp terminal. West of State Road 429, an additional through lane would be added in each direction on US 192, along with additional turn lanes at the State Road 429 ramp terminal. Located 2.2 miles north, Western Way is the next interchange with modifications proposed. The proposed Western Way interchange is shown here. The main improvement at Western Way is the addition of a second lane to the southbound loop ramp as shown. Other improvements include signals at the ramp terminals and additional turn lanes at both intersections. The improvements shown are generally within existing right-of-way, but may require a small amount of right-of-way to be acquired. We will take a closer look at the intersection improvements on Western Way starting at the ramp terminals east of State Road 429. Intersection improvements include a new signal as well as additional through lanes in each direction on Western Way. Additional turn lanes would be added at each intersection approach as shown. Moving west of State Road 429, a signal would be added at the ramp terminal as well as an additional left turn lane accessing the State Road 429 southbound on-ramp. The Seidel Road interchange, located 3.2 miles north of Western Way, is an existing interchange with proposed modifications. Two options for Seidel Road are under consideration. Both Seidel Road options would include widening the existing State Road 429 bridges over Seidel Road and a second left turn lane added approaching Avalon Road. The first option at Seidel Road is the signalization option, which includes the addition of signals at both ramps to control traffic movements. No additional right-of-way is required for the signalization option. The second alternative is the double roundabout option shown on the right, which adds a double roundabout through the interchange area instead of the two traffic signals proposed by the signalization option. For both alternatives, State Road 429 would transition to the existing configuration north of Seidel Road. The double roundabout option requires a total of 0.6 acres of additional right-of-way from 5 parcels. The table shown is an evaluation matrix that compares the Seidel Road interchange alternatives. Both Seidel Road options have traffic and safety benefits that offer significant improvements over the no-build option. The signalization option offers these benefits at a slightly lower cost and with less impacts as compared to the double roundabout option. The cost of the proposed improvements ranges from $287 million if the signalization options are selected at Sinclair Road and Seidel Road to $290 million if the roundabout options are selected at those locations. These costs include widening the State Road 429 main line within the project limits, the operational improvements described in this presentation at the interchanges shown, and the new interchange at the proposed Livingston Road extension. As part of the study, Florida's Turnpike Enterprise is evaluating the potential social, natural, physical, and cultural effects of the project and of each alternative. Features listed are just some of the types of analysis included in this PD&E study. Avoidance or minimization of impacts to these features is a key consideration. Impacts that cannot be avoided will be mitigated. Public involvement is a very important part of the PD&E study process. Various outreach methods will take place throughout the life of the PD&E study. 2 public meetings will be held for this study. Today's meeting, the Alternatives Public Information Meeting, is the first meeting for this study. The second meeting will be the public hearing. In addition to the scheduled public meetings, other outreach methods include the distribution of newsletters, information posted to the project website, www.sr429i-4toseidel.com, and other meetings with stakeholders and small groups. Throughout this study, Florida's Turnpike Enterprise will coordinate with the Central Florida Expressway Authority, the Reedy Creek Improvement District, Metro Plan Orlando, and Osceola and Orange counties. After tonight's meeting, we will review public comments in conjunction with the social, cultural, environmental, and engineering factors to reach a recommendation on a preferred alternative. The preferred alternative will then be presented to you at the public hearing, tentatively scheduled for the end of this year. This study is expected to be completed by early 2023. Please note that this schedule is subject to change and that subsequent project phases, including design, right-of-way, and construction are not currently funded. Your comments are essential to this process and will help Florida's Turnpike Enterprise understand your concerns and suggestions for improvements. We encourage you to provide a written comment tonight, or if you prefer, you may mail your comments or submit by email. All contact information is also included in the project handout. You can also submit your comments directly through the project website. The website address is www.sr429i-4 to Seidel.com. We would appreciate your written comments by March 10th, 2022. For more information, attendees of the virtual meeting can submit a question via the GoToWebinar question box or using one of the previously mentioned communication methods after the meeting. All attendees may also review the project information posted on the project website, which includes all the information presented at tonight's meeting. In-person attendees may ask questions to Turnpike representatives and review the aerial maps and other exhibits on display. After this meeting, if you would like to speak with someone, please contact one of the Turnpike representatives as noted in your handout. Thank you for your interest in the PD&E study to widen Western Beltway from north of Interstate 4 to Seidel Road. And thank you for taking time to participate in this meeting.
Okay, so we hope you found the project video informative. At this time, we would like to move into the question answer portion of our meeting. During registration for this meeting, we asked you if you had any questions for us to answer at this meeting. So we've compiled your questions and put together a few slides to help us answer the questions that we've received so far. If you think of another question, locate the question box located in the control panel, type your question in the box, and then hit the send button. We will respond to those questions at a later date. All of the questions submitted tonight will become part of the public meeting record and be part of the study process. So with that, let's get to your questions. Matt, what is our first question?
So Stephanie, this is a densely populated corridor in many locations along the project limits, and we have a lot of people that own homes in this corridor, some that are right along that existing roadway. This is the question we have received the most from tonight's registrants. We've heard it from residents of Emerald Island, Reunion, Happy Trails, and others. How will this project impact my neighborhood, my house, or my property?
Sure, and that's understandable. The best place to view the proposed improvements in relation to your specific location is the project website, www.sr429i-4 to Seidel.com. I'll walk you through how to find the exhibits you can review to see where our proposed improvements are in relation to your neighborhood, residence, or business. So to review the project exhibits, including the conceptual design of the build alternatives under consideration, visit the project website and click the Alternatives Public Information Meeting Exhibit Room button located at the top of the page. The new page that opens will include a list of exhibits to click on to review. If you click on one of the titles on the left, such as the exhibit board, along with a brief description will open to allow you to zoom in and out. For example, the project location map is shown here as an example of one of the exhibit boards you'll find on the project website. All of the exhibits on the project website are the same ones we will be showing at the in-person meeting at the Nicholson Center on Thursday, which is tomorrow evening. The aerial exhibit boards, like the one shown here, are the best place to look to see your property in relation to the proposed improvements. These exhibits include a scale and a north arrow in the upper right-hand corner. They also include a legend in the bottom right-hand corner that shows what each symbol on the map means. In the upper left-hand corner, you will find an evaluation matrix that compares the benefits, cost, and impacts associated with the proposed improvements.
Okay, thanks, Stephanie. So when many of tonight's registrants heard widening, their first thought was probably, is the turnpike going to have to buy land to accommodate these improvements? Can you elaborate on that? Is additional right-of-way going to be required for these improvements?
Sure, I can do that. So for the main line widening of State Road 429, the additional lanes fit within Turnpike's existing right-of-way, with the exception of one small sliver of land needed along Formosa Gardens Boulevard, just north of Sand Hill Road. Very small pieces of right-of-way will have to be purchased at the interchanges of US 192, Western Way, and Seidel Road. As I'm sure you noticed in the video, the new interchange at an extension of Livingston Road requires the most right-of-way at just under 39 acres. Also, we may need to purchase right-of-way for stormwater ponds, but that would be determined later.
Fair enough. Okay, so what if I looked at the aerial concepts on the website and I see that right-of-way will be needed for my property for these improvements? What happens next? Can you tell us how that works?
Of course. So the best place to get a detailed overview of the right-of-way acquisition process is on the project website. Scroll down to the Documents section and click on Videos. You'll find a comprehensive video explaining the right-of-way acquisition process there.
Okay, so earlier you mentioned Livingston Road in the video, and we had a question about environmental impacts since that would be the largest area of right-of-way being acquired. Can you speak to environmental impacts? How will this project address them?
Yes, so Florida's Turnpike Enterprise is working closely with the United States Fish and Wildlife Service, the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission, Reedy Creek Improvement District, and the Florida Department of Environmental Protection to minimize impacts to natural resources, as well as develop successful mitigation plans for unavoidable impacts. Social, physical, cultural, and natural environmental factors are all included in this evaluation.
Okay, so Stephanie, you just mentioned that a variety of social, physical, cultural, and environmental factors are all considered in the evaluation of these improvements, but corridor residents have asked about air quality. Is that factored into the evaluation as well?
Yes, air quality is one of the factors that's included in this evaluation. An air quality screening will be performed on the preferred alternative and documented in a brief report called the Air Quality Technical Memorandum. This project is not expected to create adverse impacts on air quality because the project area is in an attainment for all national air quality standards, and because this project is actually expected to improve traffic flow and reduce delay and congestion within the study area. Keeping vehicles moving is better for air quality than having them sit idling in congestion.
Okay, so assuming that this project goes forward, what is the timeline for construction?
Sure, this PD&E study will take approximately 2 years to complete. It began in January 2021, last year, and we anticipate it being completed at the beginning of 2023. Since none of the other project phases, such as design, right-of-way, or construction are funded, there is no timeline for completing construction of this project, even if a build alternative is selected.
Thanks, Stephanie. Okay, so we had one registrant who wanted to ask about the need for these additional lanes on this project. Do we even need 4 lanes in each direction on State Road 429? Could we just get away with 3 lanes in each direction, or even just keep the 2 like we have right now?
So to answer that question, yes, the roadway widening is needed. State Road 429 has had an average historical growth rate of 10% between opening and current years. In order to accommodate future travel demand, 6 lanes are needed by 2030, and 8 lanes will be needed by 2045 for the segment between US 192 and Seidel Road, and between I-4 and US 192 by 2050. Keep in mind that we may need to phase the projects by widening to 6 lanes first, and then wait to widen to 8 lanes when they are warranted.
Okay, so on the opposite side of that same question about whether the widening of State Road 429 is needed, we had another question asking, why is the widening stopping at Seidel Road? Why isn't it being extended north of Seidel?
Okay, so For this question, the portion of State Road 429 north of Seidel Road is under the jurisdiction of the Central Florida Expressway Authority, or CFX. The CFX 2040 master plan currently does show the need to widen State Road 429 north of Seidel Road by 2040. You can find out more about that on the CFX website, www.cfxway.com.
Okay, so some of our registrants have asked questions about other projects in this area. Can you give us a brief update about what other projects are being developed in this area?
Yes, so the video had an extensive list of other projects, but I'll highlight a few. First, the Poinciana Parkway Extension PD&E Study is an adjacent project many of you are likely aware of. We covered that one at last night's public meeting, and it will be on display at the in-person public meeting tomorrow night. It would establish a connection from County Road 532 and the I-4 State Road 429 interchange. We've also got the I-4 BTU, or Beyond the Ultimate project, to put express lanes in the median of I-4, and another project to add auxiliary lanes to I-4 between County Road 532 and State Road 429, which includes some resurfacing work on State Road 429. There is a lot of work ongoing and planned in this area.
All right, sounds like it. Thanks, Stephanie. So speaking of additional lanes, I mentioned earlier that many of this corridor's residents live adjacent to State Road 429 now, and they are concerned about the additional noise that these new lanes could bring to their neighborhood. We've heard this question multiple times from various neighborhoods. They want to know, what is this project going to do to reduce noise impacts to neighborhoods?
Certainly. A comprehensive noise analysis will be completed as part of the PD&E study, and the results will be presented at the public hearing, currently anticipated early next year. Residences within the project limits will be studied for future noise abatement. Any noise walls identified as potentially feasible and cost reasonable for noise abatement under federal and state regulations will be evaluated again during the design phase. If they then meet FDOT criteria, noise barriers would be built during the roadway's construction phase. A video that explains the noise evaluation process and procedures can be found on the project website under the videos tab of the documents section.
Okay, so that sounds like you're talking about future noise. Thanks, Stephanie. So for many of our State Road 429 corridor residents, we've heard versions of this scenario. I live near State Road 429 and the traffic noise is already loud now, and additional lanes are only going to make the noise worse. Can my neighborhood get a noise wall now, or do we have to wait for this project to be built?
So yes, with the traffic growth in the area, lots of residences are feeling that way. Unfortunately, we don't provide noise walls to address existing conditions. As a result, FDOT has no retrofit program to provide noise walls on existing facilities. However, the noise analysis for this project would be considering future noise levels associated with projected traffic after the roadway is widened.
Okay, so thank you, Stephanie. We get this one a lot too. Haven't you already decided what you're going to do? What is the purpose of having this meeting?
Okay, we have not decided what we are going to build or not build at this stage. We're here today to present the improvements under consideration to the public and inform the community about the study. The study started in January 2021 last year, and this is the very first time these concepts have been presented to the public for consideration. We're here to answer any questions that members of the public may have on the project and get their input on the study concepts. So please, everyone attending this meeting, send us your comments tonight, as this is why we're here. We need your input.
Okay, so let's talk about Seidel Road. We had a question about that one. Currently, it has ramps to and from the south, but nothing to the north. Will the proposed improvements include adding a northbound entrance ramp and southbound exit ramp at Seidel Road?
No. Proposed improvements do not include adding any ramps at Seidel Road. The options at Seidel Road include adding a signal or a double roundabout at the existing ramps and a left turn lane at Avalon Road. The portion of State Road 429 north of Seidel Road is under the jurisdiction of the Central Florida Expressway Authority, or CFX, as I mentioned. The CFX 2040 Master Plan currently does not include projects to widen State Road 429 or add ramps to and from the north at Seidel Road. That plan could change with future updates.
All right, you mentioned this Turnpike PD&E study will be completed at the beginning of 2023. So then what? What happens next?
Assuming the build alternative is selected over the no build alternative, when the study is completed, the project would move into the design phase, then the right-of-way acquisition phase, and then finally the construction phase. But remember, none of those phases are funded at this time in the Florida's Turnpike Enterprise 5-year work program.
Okay, well, thank you, Stephanie. That's the last of our questions compiled from registration. We are still collecting questions and comments through the question box tonight.
Okay, great. Thank you, Matt. And thank you to everyone for all of your questions and comments submitted tonight. As I mentioned earlier, we will respond to those questions at a later date. If you don't want to wait for your answer, you can always visit us at the in-person meeting tomorrow night at the Nicholson Center in Celebration, or send me an email. All comments and questions will be part of the project record. I'd like to remind everyone that a recording of this meeting will be available on the project website within the next few days. Thank you for your interest in the PD&E study to widen Western Beltway from north of Interstate 4 to Seidel Road, and thank you for taking your time this evening to participate in this meeting. Good night.